This is Jordan Sather reporting for the Conscious Media Coalition. Hello, ladies and germaphobes. My name is Jordan Sather. I run an independent YouTube channel where I give news reports, investigations, and just basically rant about the state of the world. And I wanted to give a shout out to my Canadian brethren, Justin Booth, for contacting me and wanting me to do a video for the Conscious Media Alliance page, so here it is. And I'm going to take this opportunity to discuss with you guys why exactly John F. Kennedy was killed. And not only John F. Kennedy, but Marilyn Monroe was assassinated as well, because I do not think it was an overdose. I think it was a wet works. Wet works is a euphemism in the intel community for an assassination. And how I'm going to paint this picture for you is by just reading to you 3 different CIA documents. I do not necessarily doubt the authenticity of these by any means. I will post links to these documents and more investigation about them down below this video. And when I literally just read these documents to you, you'll begin to see a picture as to why they were both assassinated. And I'm doing this on John F. Kennedy. The inspiration for this specific report derives from the Vault 7 disclosures, because what passphrase did WikiLeaks use to encode those Vault 7 files? It was that famous JFK quote about the CIA. I will shatter it into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the wind. So, I want to help people understand exactly why JFK was taken out, because there was a lot of reasons, right? He openly spoke about the secret society and the shadow government in his speeches. He signed Executive Order 11110, which was going to basically dismantle the IRS and the Federal Reserve, put America back on a silver standard. There was a lot of reasons. But this issue that I will explain was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I will preface this with 2 things before I get into reading these documents. Yes, we're going to continue on in this conversation by understanding that it very well was the CIA and the shadow government that took Kennedy out. If you want more information on that and don't believe me, you can look into a man named Howard Hunt, who is an ex-CIA operative who gave a deathbed confession a couple years ago to it being the CIA. And lastly, yes, these documents have everything to do with the UFO issue, and that was the straw that broke both JFK and Marilyn Monroe's back. And not just the UFO issue, but more specifically, the highly advanced, top secret technologies that are locked away in the unacknowledged black projects of the CIA and military-industrial complex. I will also discuss that with you in a minute, a little more in depth. But first, let's just get into these documents. I don't want this video to run too long. And first, we're going to go over poor Marilyn Monroe. I'm going to put up a screenshot right here of the documents. It's probably going to be a little fuzzy, tough to see, so I'll also link them down below. This is called the Monroe Wiretap document. It's been authenticated by many different sources, which is why I don't doubt the authenticity of it. And when you look at all the circumstantial evidence, man, this connects a lot of dots. All of these documents connect a lot of dots. I'm going to show you this one on Monroe, 2 on JFK, but helps explain a lot of things, which is why I wanted to do this report on this. So let's just read this. Reference to Marilyn Monroe up at the top there. Probably around like this area where my finger might be. Date, you'll notice over here, the date, 3rd of August, 1962. Marilyn Monroe was found dead the 5th of August, 2 days later after this wiretap. It's a wiretap summary, that's why it's called the wiretap document. And it was done by a man named James Angleton, who was in the CIA in the 1950s. He was basically like a mole hunter. He found out where all the leaks were coming from and plugged up the leaks. And unfortunately, you will see why in a sec, Marilyn Monroe was going to be a leak. References Project Moonducks and Project 46, which are 2 very real projects that were in the CIA in the 50s. I'm just going to read to you under number 1. It said that Marilyn Monroe had secrets to tell, no doubt arising from her trysts with the President and the Attorney General. And she was discussing, Marilyn Monroe, right, they were overhearing her discuss a visit by the President, by JFK, to a secret airbase for the purpose of inspecting things from outer space. I don't think that was a satellite. And no doubt come from the New Mexico crash in the late 40s. Obvious reference to Roswell. We'll jump down to number 3. Subject threatened to hold a press conference and would tell all. And number 5, subject made reference to her diary of secrets and what the newspaper would do with such disclosures. What was going on, I'll summarize this for you. Marilyn Monroe, it was no doubt that she was sleeping with the Kennedys, both JFK and RFK. Because she felt like she was being ignored, she was going to tell some certain secrets that JFK told her over some pillow talk. JFK told her that he visited a secret airbase to inspect a downed UFO craft. He was referencing the Roswell craft that we were beginning to back engineer in the early mid to late 50s, right? And also that secret airbase was Wright-Patterson. They brought it to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. So CIA wiretapped her, found out that she was upset and that she learned some things, and what she was going to do was basically go on a nighttime talk show and tell everything. So the old saying goes here, hell hath no wrath like a woman scorned. She was pissed off, but unfortunately, she was going to let out some secrets that certain people didn't want known. And those certain people are those people that run these black projects. Because I will tell you now, the technology associated, right, with the UFO issue in the black projects, which is often called zero-point energy technology, the anti-gravity aspect of it. Anti-gravity is a bad name. Sometimes it's called electrogravitics or electromagnetogravitics. Won't get into the science in this video, but basically this technology that's locked away in the black projects could liberate humanity of its complete need on fossil fuels, end poverty, end hunger. Oh my gosh, we can explore the stars. I kid you not. That's why it was kept secret. That's why they had no issue wet-worksing Marilyn Monroe. Tough truths, but I tell them. Now, let's get into the JFK documents. Both of these are from the same date. And you'll notice the date here, November 12th. 1963. Both of these documents, they're very related. I'll go over them. Only 10 days before John F. Kennedy's death. And these ones, so that Monroe document was obtained via a leak, a certain leak. These ones here were obtained by Freedom of Information Acts. So this is also why the space program, the modern day space program, they're trying to make everything privatized, like SpaceX and the Amazon owner, his program and whatnot, because then they won't be susceptible to FOIA reports. So anyway, let's just go over the more public, the unclassified document. And this one, I'll also put up a screenshot. This was just a memo, National Security Action Memo. You can find this on like any government website, archives.org and whatnot. So memo for the head of NASA, and it says subject, cooperation with the USSR on outer space matters. He basically wanted substantive cooperation with the Soviet Union in the field of outer space, and this included cooperation in lunar landing programs. So he wanted to basically end the Cold War and have, right, cooperation between scientists of their both countries. So he wanted to, right, get NASA to work with the Russians. Not much juicy material in that document, but now I'm going to show you the one that was signed the same day that was top secret. This is the one to the head of the CIA. Memo for the director of the CIA. Subject, classification review of all UFO intelligence files affecting national security. I have instructed James Webb, which was the head of NASA in that document, to develop a program with the Soviet Union in joint space and lunar exploration. It would be very helpful to have all the high-threat cases classified in the CIA and U.S. Air Force for review, so we can check out a clear distinction between the knowns and the unknowns. Oh my gosh, and he wanted to arrange a program of data sharing with NASA where unknowns are a factor. That's why John F. Kennedy was taken out. Those memos were both signed 10 days before his death. What he wanted to do was get all of the technology and information that was beginning to be looked at in the black projects, right? All the free energy, zero-point electrogravitic research of very I don't want to say advanced, but a complete aspect of science that we're just not given in the universities these days, right? It's all left brain compartmentalized science they're given. We don't have half the picture, quite literally. He wanted to open up the UFO, the secretive UFO files for more people in the government, right? He wanted the head of NASA to get in on it. He wanted, because you got to understand there's a lot of skullduggery that goes on. Not everybody, even the president, oftentimes doesn't know a lot of things because of all the unacknowledged stuff that goes on. He wanted to open up this research for more people in the government, and then he wanted to open up for the public and end the Cold War, disclose this information, disclose this technology. So that's why I wanted to do this report, because it helps connect a lot of dots as to what's going on and why it's going on. The secret space program is a crucial piece of the picture to brush yourself up on, and what kind of technologies our CIA and our, you could say, military-industrial complex, different aerospace corporations, privately have, because it could literally liberate humanity, and each and every one of us need to learn about it. If we don't learn about it, things aren't going to change here for the better. So you might as well brush yourself up on all of it now, rather than getting swept up under the wave of change. And keep up with my research. I'll post some links to where you can find me on my YouTube and Facebook and whatnot down below. Check out all the people that report for the Conscious Media Coalition or the Conscious Media Alliance, because they're also brushed up on much of the truths that are really going on. And according to WikiLeaks, only 1% of those Vault 7 files have been released so far. So we can expect a lot more juicy material like this to come out in those Vault 7 files. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride, folks. Start unlearning and relearning literally your worldview of what's going on here right now, right? So you can help others do so and help increase this consciousness so we can transform this planet. Thanks, guys. Peace.